everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be sharing this layout that I actually started and then decided to record it and share it with you guys because I think it's going to turn out pretty cool, and I just wanted to share my process with you. So I have these two stamps from the Ton stamp, and they are new releases, and when I saw this beautiful butterfly, I knew I wanted to use it, but I just didn't know how. So I'd left it on my desk, came back and forth. I went through my photos to kind of see what went well with the stamp because I usually start with a photo when I'm creating. But with a stamp like this, I waited to find the right photo. Now, I had these photos printed at Persnickety Prints, and one of the photos was of my kids hugging. My daughter traveled for over a month, and when she came home, this is how my son welcomed her home, and I thought it was the cutest thing. So what I thought I would do was use the stamp to create a wing for my daughter. It just fit perfectly. Like when I looked at it, it would fit just perfect on this photo. So that's what I ended up doing. I went ahead and stamped half of the butterfly's wing on some white cardstock, and I thought I would just kind of add it, but then I thought, wouldn't it look cool if I made like a little collage on my wing because they're beautiful flowers. So I went ahead and stamped them all over on different patterns and cut them out and try to fill out the flowers. I'm not filling out all the flowers because I really like the black and white kind of background on the wing. I want it to kind of look different. I didn't want to fill the whole wing, if that makes sense. But once I did that, that's where I decided I'm going to record this because I have a feeling it's going to look pretty cool, and I wanted to share it with you, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm sorry that I didn't record from the get-go when I started creating the wing, but better late than never. So I'm just gonna speed this up and do a voiceover for you guys, and hopefully this spread turns out as cool as I think it will be. So let's start. Okay, guys, let's start. So I decided to trim down my photo. I'm going to fussy cut around my kids. I actually just fussy cut around her back, I think, and leave one half, like the other half of the photo. But I do end up going back and trimming that part off. I just felt like it was off a little bit. I decided to do that because I wanted this to look as realistic as possible. And adding the butterfly to her back, I wanted it to look like it was a part of her body. So I had to trim that part of my photo to do that. And I'm happy I did that because it really does look pretty cool once I add it. I'm going to go ahead and stick down my flowers. I love the contrast of the black and white with the colored pattern flowers. It just looks pretty cool. And I do that a lot. I always feel like your flowers will pop if you stamp black and white flowers in the background, or you do something like this. It just makes it look really cool, and I just love that look. So I always end up like stamping in black and white behind my pattern flowers, or last week I shared with the frames, just stamping them in black and white against the colored frames makes everything pop and look pretty cool. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it up at the eye for you guys when I use the frames. Now that I'm done trimming out my wing, I decided to scatter more flowers around my kids. So what I'm going to end up doing is doing the same technique where I'm stamping these flowers on different pattern papers, and I'm just going to be adding them to the corners of my spread. I just felt like that would add more color. It would look really cool because I know I want to add a title, and because I love flowers, so just scattering them around my spread is going to look pretty neat. This is what I'm envisioning, and this is why I started recording, because I felt like the layout would turn out pretty cool and I wanted to share it with you guys. So now that I got them stamped out, I'm not doing a lot of them. I'm just going to go ahead and start fussy cutting them out. And before I add them, I'm going to, this is where actually I trim off the other half of my photo because I thought if I'm going to scatter the flowers, I need that space. And also I'm going to go ahead and start sticking down my photo and my wing because I wanted to add a title and I wanted to know where everything falls before I add my title. So I'm going to add the big stuff first, and then I'm going to start working on my title. So I went ahead and grabbed my Kelly Perky. I think this is the retrograde alpha stamp. I'm a huge fan of the stamp set. And I'm going to stamp out Home Sweet Home. Now I had to remove a lot of me adding my title from this video because there was a lot of headshots. I wanted to make sure that I get it on a straight line, so I apologize about that. But I'm just going to stamp out Home Sweet Home. And then I'm going to grab that stamp set from the Ton Stamp, which I love. It has like these brush strokes, and I thought if I stamped them in color over my title, that would bring in some of the color from my flowers. So I'm gonna try them out first before I stamp them, which I recommend to you guys. I do have like little swatches on my ink pads, but still I like to stamp them out first just to double check if they match my flowers. I love the blue, so I'm gonna add the blue. I end up grabbing pink for sweet, and then I'm gonna stamp out in yellow over home. I think I'm gonna end up using these brushstroke stamps a lot soon because I'm really loving them, and I think they add a nice pinch of color to my title, so definitely a new favorite. I'm going to go ahead and finish my title up, and then I'm going to grab those flowers that I trimmed out and start adding them around my title and the corners. I'm just trying it out at first, and once I feel like everything looks good, I'll go ahead and start sticking them down. I also did want to mention that I shared this spread on Instagram recently for the Ton Hop. I definitely recommend you check it out. The Hop has a lot of giveaways going on. You could probably win one of these stamps, and the release is huge, so there's other stamps that you could win. So definitely check it out. I will link my Instagram in the description box for you guys. Now, whatever I trim off from these flowers that are sticking off my spread, I'm still going to use them. These are great little pieces to add as a little cluster for your flowers. So don't throw them away, add them to your spread. And then I'm going to grab that stamp set again because I wanted to add a little something to my title. And in that stamp set, there was a lot of little things that you could add, like little phrases. One of them said, "No one is you, and that is your superpower." I felt like that worked really, really well with my daughter. This girl is a superhero to us. She keeps us busy. She keeps the house kind of loud and, things going on. So we really missed her. I felt like that worked. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that, especially that I'm going to be adding some journaling to my spread. So I wanted a little subtitle as well. And in that stamp set, there's this cluster of little dots, and those are made for the flowers, but I'm okay with just stamping them around my clusters just to add a little something. And they're kind of cool if you didn't want to use your Nuvo drops, which I will end up using my Nuvo drops, but that's a nice little touch right there. And I will grab one of the leaf stamps to add directly to my clusters on my spread. I love doing this. I love adding the black and white with the color. And also I wanted the clusters to match my wing. So I decided to stamp that leaf around the clusters of flowers as well. Now that I'm done with my clusters of flowers, I'm gonna go ahead and type out my journaling. I'll trim it down into strips and add that underneath my title. I still felt like I needed more color and more dimension to my spread. So my go-to embellishment is crystal drops. I end up choosing different colors, whatever I felt like would match my flowers, and I'm just gonna go all out with it. I will add some to my clusters. I'll add some to my little wing. I just want to add more color and dimension to my spread, and this is definitely the perfect embellishment for that. So I'm just going to go all out with this. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I'm not, adding 3 at a time or anything like that. I'm just adding the colors wherever I feel like they need to be added. While I was adding my crystal drops, I felt like my kids were kind of floating on the spread, and I didn't like that. So what I decided to do was just grab a black pen and add an outline to their bodies, and it made a huge difference. I'm so happy I did it. You guys, it's the little things that make the difference, believe me. But once I'm done adding the outline to their bodies, I call my layout done. I really love how this turned out. I'm really happy that I recorded it for you guys. Don't forget, I add all the links for everything I use down in the description box. And don't forget to be a part of the hop. You might win these beautiful stamps yourself. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.